Deathwing.
Welcome back. I'm Calvin, Statue Fanatic, here with another review or a look at another character that I've just gotten over the past few weeks. I'm not sure what's going on here. This is another World of Warcraft character that I have picked up over the past couple of weeks. Like I said when I did Illidan, I don't typically collect characters that I'm not familiar with. And this is another one of those characters that I saw him a couple of years ago and thought he was really cool. And over the years, I just kept seeing him and like, man, I really like that character. And so I finally, a few weeks ago, was able to pick him up. And what was really cool, I got him at retail, including shipping. So I couldn't pass that up. And that kind of puts me at my entire budget for the year for statue collecting. So that kind of sucks. I can't get any more statues this year. This guy was released, I think, in 2015. He was shown at the Comic-Con, 2014 Comic-Con, I'm pretty sure. I saw some stuff about that on the internet. This was released by Sideshow, celebrating the 10th anniversary of the game. So this character, I just read a little bit about him, but apparently this character has been out of the game for a while. Maybe that's how it goes. Please don't blast me in the comments because I don't know my World of Warcraft lore. But according to Sideshow's website, this guy's been lurking in the shadows awaiting his dramatic return, which he did in World of Warcraft Cataclysm. He returned to Azeroth, I guess is what it is. And the pose that you see is inspired by the cinematic opening of the game. So some of the more obvious things about this character, about this particular statue, is the wingspan. As you can see, it's really huge. This guy is like 30 inches across. That is the size of like 1/3 statues across. He stands 25 inches, well 25 and a half inches tall from the base to the top of the wings. And he is actually another 24 inches across if you take into account how far from the front of the base to the back of the base where the wings actually extend out. So this is a pretty massive statue. He fits in nothing that I've seen or that I have. Of course, a DTOF is out of the question unless you're sitting him on top of it. Now, getting to the statue himself, let's talk a little bit about the paint application on this statue. It's more impressive in person than when I saw the pictures that I've seen on Facebook or eBay and all the other places that I've seen YouTube pictures of him. I think the paint application is absolutely gorgeous. There is a lot of things going on in terms of shading and different types of paint applications and coloring and that type of stuff. So what I've read about the character, he looks like he's sort of on fire from the inside. This is magma kind of, you can see underneath his skin, and the shading of that under the scales is really cool. This same thing you see in his breastplate, and the breastplate, what's unique about that is that as part of the sculpt, I guess, he has a metal type armor mixed in with his regular body, so it almost looks as if it's fused together, which is really cool. And the breastplate, you can see the way they've got it shaded and painted, the orange representing some type of flaming heat that you can see underneath this breastplate. Like, again, the same thing on all the scales on his body. Out of his mouth, you can see where his mouth is on fire like a dragon would be. And his jaw is, again, some type of metal, not real metal, but sculpted and painted and shaded to look like metal. And you can see hinges on his jaw, which is really cool. The entire statue, just so many small details in the scales and the striations in his, and just really cool. He has this ash burn around his body where he's, you know, in flames and ashes. And you saw in the video when this opened up, that kind of triumphant return is what it looked like to me, and all the fire and everything around it. That scene is actually it comes to life in the paint application on the statue itself. It looks like that character went through that scene right here, this particular statue did. So now with that said about the paint app, I gotta move out of the way every time I turn around. I'm gonna get hit in the eye with one of these wings. The sculpt itself, just amazing detail in the sculpt. So many things going on when you look at it. I mean, starting with the head, he has this horns type things coming out of the back of his head. Just every part of it is detailed and sculpted. There's kind of these nuts and bolts that are holding an armor plate of some kind over his horns, or even the horns are made out of it. I doubt it, because it does have the bolts and things in there to show that it's armor attached to it all around there. And then underneath his wings as well, there's more metal type shading to show that part of his wings has been fused with some type of metal armor. Same thing with the breastplate, with the bolts and things that are holding the breastplate on, in terms of the way that it's painted and shaded. And then you see many parts of his scale, the scales on his body are the same way. So going down the back of his body here, this entire spine column going down to his tail, again painted with this silver metal type paint on it, giving it a really cool look to it. Pretty imposing, pretty dangerous, pretty lethal type look to it. I actually love this statue, and it may be because I like dragons and I like medieval stuff, so this kind of fits into that. Even though I don't play the game, but I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful statue. The wings, back to the wings. I've seen multiple statues like this. For example, Purgatory, Illidan, this guy, where the wings are made out of this translucent type material that lets light project through it. So depending on how you displayed this statue, it could have a really cool effect. I'll show you at the end of the video kind of how I have this orange light, this shining on him, and gives the statue more of a silhouette than it. Each of the bone structure going through the wings, all sculpted. It has, the wings have these striations of type that look like some type of flesh to the wings. Give it that living organism type look to it, which is awesome. And then underneath the wings, again, magma. You see the paint application where the coloring is kind of red under the wings when you can see the fire that's coming out of it. Again, watch out, get stuck in the eye. Now the base. The base is beautiful as well. This towers that he's landed on, remember the opening scene in the movie trailer, the cinematic trailer that I showed as part of the opening of this? You can see where he lands on that and it starts crumbling. The same exact thing happens to this. It looks like almost identical to what's happening there. Oh my God, the amount of detail in this, every brick and that's molded and sculpted. And you can see here, very solid piece here, but it looks like it's broken away and it's in motion, falling from where he just landed. Looks really awesome. Little pieces of rubble that have fallen down and crumbled here. Inside here as well, you can see all of that sculpted. It's not like, you know, even though you can't see it from the angles that you look at the statue, it's still all sculpted and looks really amazing. Now, I've just gone on and on about how amazing this statue is. It does have one flaw, at least this piece does. This is issue 497 of 2500 is what this particular statue is. So it's well up there, and I'm wondering if there's a way to fix this. But what concerns me is these wings are huge and they fit into his body here, and you can absolutely see the gap that I have not figured out how to get that to get flush with the actual body itself. It is just not working for me. If anyone has had the same issue, and I've seen video of this where it's flush, and I've also seen videos where it's not flush. So if anyone has been able to fix this, please make a note in the show notes, and I would really appreciate it if you can help me out in terms of how to get that more flush. Was scared when I moved it because I thought it might actually fall out. But other than that, I'm going to keep it, of course. I mean, I got it at a great price, like I said, at retail, including shipping. So thanks for tuning in again. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy the things that I do and you find them interesting. If there's things that I can do better, please make notes of that in the show notes. I'd love to hear from you. So until next time, peace.